Hey there viewer, welcome to Procon Grey. So when I saw the Hyundai Creta back in 2015, this was when it was just launched, I knew I must have it. It was quite a good looking car for its time. Remember, this was back when most cars looked like that. This was when compact SUVs as a segment was very new. I think back then we only had two cars in that segment, which was the Duster and the EcoSport. You know, so compared to those two, the Creta looked a lot more appealing to me. Something about the proportions looked more right. And so in early 2016, I got the car and I loved it. Now, fast forward many years to a year or two ago, and see, mechanically, the car was fine. No complaints. But it was kind of starting to look its age. Also, the Indian car market had a lot more attractive CSUVs. And the Creta had also gone through a couple of facelifts. So yes, while they were newer cars, I I didn't feel compelled to buy one. I was still really thrilled and happy with my car, but I just felt it could do with a little bit something. Because yeah, the car had life in it, but its looks were a little dated. So that got me thinking, what modifications can I do to make the car look nicer, drive better, and feel fancier? And so I got started on a wonderful but maybe a little expensive journey of car modification. But this did breathe new life into the car, so I thought I'll talk about those in this video. I'm going to run through a list of all the modifications I did and then maybe dive a little deeper into a few of them. So I'll start with performance. I'm going to read through the list because it's easier this way. So for performance, I did an ECU Stage 2 remap. I also added a throttle controller. For aesthetics, I upsized the tires, repainted the Hyundai alloys gloss black, added a spacer, changed the bumper, blacked out the grille, blacked out the bumper, wheels, added a lip spoiler, blacked out all the badging, removed all the chrome, changed the tail lights to some pretty cool afterburner style lights, added Lambo style tail reflectors, added DRLs, matrix indicator strips above the headlights, floor mats, ambient lighting, footwell lighting, oh, and this really cool Deadpool puddle light. On the entertainment side, I kept the original car speakers, but I added a subwoofer and an amplifier, and that made a world of difference. On the safety and comfort side, I added a automatic clutch pedal system. This is a really interesting and fun modification, so do check it out in the video I made earlier. I have about two videos on it. One is a quick summary and one is a very detailed review, so check that out if you're interested. I added a front parking camera with the display, a dash cam, geomotive, as well as privacy blinds. But you know, I want to talk about specifically the performance-based modifications because those were pretty cool. So I'm going to talk about the ECU remap and the throttle controller. Yeah. So for the ECU remap, I used this UK-based company called Celtic Tuning, and the remap took the horsepower from a respectable 126 right up to 175 brake horsepower. So that's like a massive 38% increase. The car felt considerably more powerful. It would easily climb up to triple-digit speeds and was a lot of fun. Not that I could enjoy it for too long because Indian roads, right? So soon after the engine remap, a friend of mine convinced me to get a throttle controller. I didn't know much about this at the time, so I did a little research. And here's the thing.
A throttle controller is an electronic device that modifies a signal sent from the accelerator to the engine. It helps improve throttle response, reducing delay, and making acceleration feel quicker and a lot more responsive.
So it sounded great in theory. I was still skeptical, but my friend who got this done on his car recommended this Australian-based company called Ultimate 9 and their EVCX throttle controller. So that's the image of it there. Now this throttle controller has 9 different modes that change the driving characteristics. You had your valet and eco mode, which is for more subdued, slow, relaxed driving, maybe boosts mileage. I've never used that. And at the other end of the spectrum, it has your Ultimate 9, which delivers an aggressive throttle response by instantly setting the pedal sensitivity to the max. Honestly, this was a little scary because when I used it just the once, I had wheel spin and I found it hard to control the car. So I'm like, no, Ultimate 9, maybe not. So instead, what I tend to use is this mode called Adapt. So Adapt automatically adjusts the throttle input based on your pedal position and changes the settings between 1 and 9. So it gives you a more dynamic yet controllable feel. So I'm going to put up a quick snapshot of the different modes for those that are interested. You have Ultimate 9, which I spoke of, Ultimate Mode, Adapt, Eco Mode, Launch, Anti-Slip, Valet, Factory Mode, and Lock Mode. Now that the description's out of the way, let me tell you what it did to the car. So the ECU remap and the throttle controller was like a nice 1-2 punch. The car felt incredibly lively. And again, it's a diesel, so it felt nothing like it did earlier. It was very quick, very agile, exciting to drive. I would often wait for the lights to turn green and then out accelerate everything else on the road in front of me. So that was a lot of fun. And the car felt new. It felt like a whole new car. But it didn't really look like a new car. So what I did was a whole new set of mods to refresh the look of the car. Now what I have is the first generation Creta. That's what it looks like. And the Creta has gone through, I think, 4 or 5 facelifts since then. Now to me, the second facelift looks the best. The Gen 2, if you will. So that's what it looks like. Everything after that, I felt looked worse. It looks a little bloated, a little too curvy. Dare I say even slightly ugly. Again, this is just my perspective, right? So thankfully, I found that I could swap out my bumper, my first generation bumper for the second generation, and very little modification required. So that's what I did. Got the original Hyundai second gen bumper, dumped that onto my existing car. In addition, I blacked out all the chrome, so changed the taillights, and also upsized the tires to these fat 225 profile tires, added a 1-inch spacer, and gave it quite an aggressive look. So here's what the before and after looks like. And I know I was warned that upsizing the tires and adding a 1-inch spacer will negatively affect driving, but you know what? I didn't notice anything. I didn't notice any negative effect. It was still a fun car to drive. In terms of cost, I'll talk about the 2 performance mods, right? So both the ECU remap and the throttle controller cost me around 20 to 25,000 each. So that was a little expensive. Everything else was fairly reasonable. But yeah, with that, I easily think that this is the nicest looking Creta on the streets today. And super happy that I did this. Weird though that I'm now planning to sell the car and buy another car. But I'll talk about that in a different video. With that, Procon Grey signing off. Catch you in the next one. Cheers.